We don't. We don't see anybody actually coming down the actual front street right there. We're going to get the name of that right here in a minute or two. But we do see firefighters making their way through the alleyway. Now we're starting to see some water at least getting onto that garage right there. That garage definitely has, that attic has fire in it. They're probably going to try to make entry. But these are two different pieces of property. I'm worried that there might be a wall between the two, making it difficult for those firefighters on the ground. But the winds, this just shows you how quickly these fires can spread with a little bit of wind. White smoke is actually, that's a myth. Let me get the street that's right next door. If Fox is taking us, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get the name of the street. Cordova. Cordova. 300 block of Cordova. Fox, we don't have your IFB this afternoon. This afternoon, we do not have your IFB. I cannot follow along. I do not have your IFB. Woo! The roof stuff taken care of? Nah, I don't know. I still see fire up on that roof. It's just a flat roof down there. There's still fire up there. I don't think they know. Copy. T's only. Copy. Is Lima Whiskey, who's Lima Whiskey today? All right. Seconds. Sorry about that Verdugo stuff. I just always blanket it, and then I realize people at home don't know what Verdugo is. Yeah, they're starting to get it all out, all the hot spots. They're getting all the hot spots out. It's still a little bit in the eaves. They got to, but now they're there. They know. I'm gonna own a Cadillac someday. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Oh, cool. Hey, Facebookers, I got to do some work. I'll be with you guys in a minute. Hey, Micah, what's up? Okay, don't ramble. Just make it just the facts and get out. Really? Where? That just fell. Send it back. Hidalgo. Hidalgo. Well, the smoke is kind of subsiding because the firefighters out here from Alhambra Fire Department and of El Monte Fire Department, Monterey Park Fire Department out here on scene right now, really starting to get a handle on it. But it was a very hectic situation. 2 garages, like you said, but then it caught into the brush out here in this neighborhood. Now, this 300 block of Hidalgo is these 2 homes that we're looking at right there. But then the flames, because of the winds, got pushed across the way to these homes on Cordova. Now, the fire department was alerted by one of the residents saying, hey, some of these homes are catching fire. That garage, there was a lot of fire earlier on. You can see that white foam on there. That's a special type of foam that they use. The fire department, they seem to have most of the flames out. Right now, though, they're still battling this fire, but it shows you how the winds can change everything in a firefight. Live in Sky 2 over Alhambra. Stu Mundel, back to you 2 in the studio. All right, Facebookers. Hey, guys and gals, I'm not following along with you because I don't even know where my phone is. Got really hectic out here. You probably heard what's going on. It's was a structure fire. It was actually 2 garages. Take a look at that. That one's like, you could see it kind of fell over this way. You got some of the wall right there, then the roof, and then the other wall's probably underneath it, and then the neighboring garage still kind of standing. A lot of trees out here in this area. The trees are beautiful. Believe me, when I look for a piece of property, I want trees all over it. But then you got to deal with stuff like this. The winds are howling out here. Brennan, Rotorhead 8, flying the helicopter this afternoon, keeping us steady and still. But down there on the ground, that firefight, very difficult for those firefighters. It wasn't funny at all, but it was very interesting to see. You always think these guys have got it. You know, they've got it. They know what's going on. They're very situationally aware. But the fire was actually burning right behind these firefighters that were fighting the fire in the alleyway. That garage right there still starting to kick up again. You got to understand, these garages, older, if you're not local, the garages, they don't have to have the same type of codes as the house. These are usually just older wood structures that basically are exposed to the elements, and so they become tinderly dry. And, any kind of fire, and they really start to go up. Those the 2 across the way over here on Hidalgo, they've collapsed. This one on Cordova, they're still battling the flames right there. Looks like it's probably a 3-car garage. It's a good-sized garage out here. Firefighters, you got multiple companies out here from multiple places. They've made it a little difficult for me because, let me just spill all the dirt out here. I don't have Verdugo in my scanner. I have some of their tax in here, but I am having trouble finding the actual fire departments themselves. So you got Monterey Park and Alhambra out here right now helping battle these flames. It's in the Alhambra area. This street right here is going to be Cordova. This one over here is going to be Hidalgo. The Hidalgo, they lost 2 garages, totally collapsed, some damage. You can see it right there, walls, shrubbery, all gone. And then, of course, you've got there's the firefight continuing across the way. I'd be concerned about that rooftop, especially with all that foam and wet water on there. And then, of course, the fact that it was on fire. While we were here, a huge amount of prawns actually fell down. The homeowner cleaned them up actually on that car. You can see them right there on the street. So it shows the winds are continuing out here. Rotorhead 8, my pilot this afternoon, he actually saw that stuff following while we were concentrating on the actual fire itself. But winds, that's what the problem was. If it wasn't a windy day, it probably would have been 1 garage, maybe. But because of these winds, we've got 3 garages, 2 of them a total loss. 1, they're probably going to have to knock it down, and then we have roof damage on another house. So very dangerous situation out here. Shows you how dangerous the winds can be. Somebody's probably asking. I'm sure if I was listening to myself, I'd be like, all right, Stu, we know it's windy. How windy is it? Brendan, how windy is it? 25, 30 miles an hour. And we're trying to park it off the nose, and Brendan doing an awesome job on the tiller, holding us nice and steady. But these flames are difficult to put out, mostly because of all of the wind. The wind. Unable to load page. Well, that's just a shame, isn't it? Unable to load the page. I said, that's just a shame, isn't it? These guys working really hard down there. At least it's not 100 degrees out today. That's the big plus that we have going on right now. Well, it says we're live, but I don't see anything else. All I got is the Wheel of Death and the live moniker. You know, it's funny to me. We got. I'm not complaining. I just think it's interesting. You got like 600 people watching, 450 people watching. You know, if you guys are local, this is something you really have to think about. This is what happens when the winds start kicking up. This could have been just one garage on fire. Now we got these high winds, and now we have, 3 garages on fire, 3 pieces of property damaged. Firefighters down there covered in that white foam. These guys look like they might be having a lot of fun down there, but that's just the way it looks from up here. These guys working to save property and, of course, lives. We haven't heard about any injuries. These power lines, they're probably still energized up here. Keeping an eye out. We're keeping an eye on that, but you can see how quickly these flames spread. 300 Hidalgo is where this thing started. It spread from one garage into the backyard foliage to another garage. So we had vegetation and structures burning there. They were concentrating on these 2 pieces of property, and the winds blowing brutally across the way and carrying these embers. This garage catching fire, parts of this rooftop catching fire here on a Cordova address across the way. Fire department out here in force, in numbers, using wet water. I know that sounds ridiculous, and you probably heard me say it more than once. Wet water is that white foam that you see right there. It's basically it's a type of soap that they add to the water that makes it more absorbing. It absorbs more, so makes it more wet. Call it wet water. Glenda, I don't know if you're smelling the smoke. It's got to be in front of you because the wind's pushing up towards you. Yeah, you got to be west of it. How many homes involved? Well, it's actually 3 garages. 2 of them are total losses. I'm sure the one that they're working on right now, the structure's still standing, but if I was an insurance guy, I'd just write it off. And then you had some roof damage right here as well on the house. But there's a little bit of fire in that eave right there. I hope they catch that before it gets up into the attic. I'm sure they will. They don't have the benefit of a helicopter. What? Which window? No, they boarded that whole thing up and they tore it down. I think that was another garage. Hey, Booth. Okay, I appreciate it. All right, awesome. Mark, I looked down and you were talking about... What's up? I guess they were talking to me on Freak 5, UHF 3. Mark was somebody named Mark, not our Mark, was but a Mark on. I don't know, John, how the cake is. I probably won't have any until I get home. I know. But Mark was explaining that the foam suffocates the flames. Third alarm. Somebody's telling me this is a third alarm fire out here. I don't know what the third engine company is. You got Monterey Park and Alhambra out here right now. Texarkana. It removes the oxygen, and it's Mark Murphy. I knew your name was Mark. Thank you, Mark Murphy. Quebec. I got to get Nikki. We got to go up north. Enjoy some Canada. Hey, I love the Canada. I'm just hoping there wasn't a classic car underneath all that rubble. I haven't seen any LA County fire. If I would, at least I could listen to them. You got Pasadena now. That's Alhambra. No, it's not. I'm telling you, that's Alhambra. That's Monterey Park. Monterey Park, so right on the ladder. So they got Monterey Park, Alhambra, and Pasadena all here on scene now. SkyMap 9000 can even tell us what fire trucks are here. We're next. I'm getting heat. Well, Susie, Jeff, 3 fire departments out here right now, and they're starting to get a handle on it. But let's show you some tape from earlier on when this thing was just really raging. Now, these are going to be back garages, separate garages from homes, those garages you see in people's backyards. But there's a lot of foliage out here, a lot of pretty trees out here, and then add in that high winds, and the fire department had a real problem. This is happening in Alhambra. It's going to be the 300 block of Hillgard. Now, Alhambra Fire Department, Monterey Park Fire Department, and Pasadena Fire Department are all here right now battling these flames. The fire, because of the winds, actually carried to a property across the alleyway, catching onto another apartment across the way with a Cordova address and some of that house as well. The fire department right now, you can actually see how far these flames got actually into the front yard. One of the trees here, some flames have established in there as well. Now, this all started from this original fire in a garage out here off of Hillgard, spread to the neighboring property and then property across the way. 3-alarm fire out here. Fire department really does seem to have the handle on it right now. We're not hearing about any injuries, but you can see how just a little bit of wind can really change the situation for these firefighters. Live in Sky 2 over Alhambra. I'm Stu Mundel. Back to you two in the studio. Simon Dess checking in. Just checking in. We did our thing with the thing. The fire's almost out. Did you want us to check on that Orion tree? Yeah. All right, Facebookers, we're on our way back to Van Nuys. You know what else is in Van Nuys besides a down tree? Our base. Those are the other guys. Copy all. You got a map page and a grid for me? 5:30. So you guys always seem to enjoy the ride. Somebody was was lobbying for the helicopter to keep the feet up as we go. So that's what we're going to be doing. And there you go. There you have it. Today, not so pretty. You'd think high winds, clear, beautifully clear. Well, sometimes it's just kicking up a lot of dust and stuff, and that's what we're getting right now. Working our way over beautiful Pasadena, right out the door there. Beautiful Pasadena as we're going out towards Van Nuys. I'll try to pick some cool stuff to show you guys on the way. I don't have to give Brendan a heading on this one because Brendan knows exactly where Sherman Way and the 405 is because that's where our airport is. Alex, you didn't even wave. You know, we went right over your house on purpose, and Alex didn't even wave. You know, Brendan and I have feelings. We actually share a small box of feelings every day. What is our ETA to Van Nuys? Well, that's an excellent question, and our ETA to Van Nuys is about 9 minutes. Oh, thanks, Ruben. Sorry, I'm doing this social media thing. Oh, don't start with that. Then I'm going to start singing it. Fly me to the moon. So, there was a crazy fire up here a while ago, and I think that's where they're rebuilding the home right there. That burned down, and they couldn't figure out if the guy was still in it or if he wasn't in it, and there was that missing, yeah, and all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know because if it is, that went up real quick, and it looks like it's stalled because that wood looks really dry. I'd love a hillside home like that. I couldn't even, I can't even afford the, I was going to say I couldn't even afford the taxes. Karen, it was a joke. It was the Thomas Guide. It was the Thomas Guide, and it was a joke. Usually, Mark's answer is, let me go back to 1980 and get that for you. But he didn't say it this time. He actually tried to think about it. Beautiful downtown. with a lot of helicopters above it. Beautiful silver lake, which apparently is more of a green lake. We did a story about that, about the different colors of green, and people are concerned. I don't know if you. They want to get to that. We got to get to the tree. Brennan wanted to show you guys the Hollywood sign, but we have to go direct because we actually have a mission. It's difficult to shoot into the sun with the haze, and you can see how quickly the lens gets dirty too. Yeah, LA Zoo. Let's go to the zoo, everybody. I have spent some time looking for the elephants, which is, I think, is right over here. But it's very rare that we actually see any animals. We usually transition very quickly as everybody is very pet friendly and we don't want to disturb the animals. If you guys driving by and going, what is that thing? Is that going to be a giant parking garage? That's going to be a giant water tank. Yep, that's a giant water tank, like the giant water tank right next to it. That's a water tank. Yep. Giant water tank. And that's the 134. Warner Brothers. Let's see if we can find the Animaniacs. No Animaniacs. And let me see if I can get it from here. Oh, come on, Stu. You're usually better at this stuff. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, there it is. The younger folks will remember this from Charlie's Angels. I think it's the original one or the second one. What it actually is a modern home built in the 1950s for the guy who owned one of the encyclopedia companies. I don't want to give out wrong information, but I think it was Britannia. Anyway, but it's been sold and resold and sold again and again and again. But it's just an interesting icon house. And yes, this is part of the property as well, which I think is hilarious. Right there, that's like the kids' playhouse. Hollywood Hills. And this is called a compressed shot, which is usually a lot of fun, but on a hazy day it might not be as fun. Look at all those houses up in the hills. Uh-oh, we're in trouble. Go ahead, go ahead. We are not RTB, and we're on the web, and we're heading to another story by Van Nuys. And if anybody's wondering, RTB is not a type of sandwich, it is return to base. And then we look down over here, and that's our news center, right there. Inside that building, that's where all the magic's happening. That's where Jeff and Susie are. Everybody wave at Jeff and Susie. And if you guys are locals, especially to the Valley. All right, that's going to be Valley College and Grant. This is Grant High School. This is Grant High School. This is Grant High School. There's Grant High School. Never dated any girls from Grant. It's Grant High School. And then right next door to that's going to be Valley College, right there, Valley College. As we were working our way closer to our story, we're going to pass by Van Nuys City Hall. I got to correct the iris and stuff, and the lens is all dirty, so it's not a great day for pretty pictures. And no, that's not smog. That's dust from the wind, and our lens has gotten dirty from flying around. Picking up all the dust, yep. Oh, somebody gave me a link to the Saucer House. Thank you, guys. Beautiful Van Nuys City Hall, and a school that's very dear to my heart because they shot some of Fast Times at Ridgemont High here, and they shot some Simon & Simon episodes here, and Square Pegs, and yes, I went to this high school as well. I spent most of my time not in detention, but right there. Auto shop, yeah. I was an industrial arts major. I know. I have other stories to tell, but this is a PG show. All right, we're getting closer to our story. We know where Sherman Way is because Sherman Way is by the post office. There's the post office and the Taco Bell. Brennan was very adamant that Orion is on the other side of the freeway, on the east side. So I don't know if this one's Orion or the one next to it because SkyMap 9000 isn't close enough to read the street names yet. That's Fairmont, so it's one up. It's one over. It's got to be this one. That's got to be Orion. Is Orion T? I'm going to look out the window here for a minute, see if we can find this thing. Sherman. Oh, I got one of our news vans there. Oh, I got it. It's right there in the road. It's laying right there in the road. Where were you guys? Everybody should have been. Stu, it's right there. That's not a tree. It's a limb, a tree limb, but we are here. Not sure if it was ours, but a blue news van just pulled in right near there. And there goes my phone. Are you guys hollering at me? Oh, now I feel bad. Getting wet. We're getting heat. Garth is going to take it. Thank you. Assignment desk, Garth used the limbs in the roadway and looking to you for guidance. Really? Neither, but you tell me where you want us to go and we'll go there. I want to see who's here. Ugh. Oh, wonderful. If he can't pronounce it, I can imagine how I'm going to do it. Cavial, Truman, and Hubbard. Oh, man. I unplugged one to save one, and now the other one's dead. I don't have any, I have nothing to navigate. Because I wanted to talk to my Facebook buddies. I have a plug, but I have to wait for the power to come back on. Truman and Hubbard. You know what? Let me use this one. We'll get us there. Roads. Where we are going, we don't need any roads. Truman and Hubbard. Old Mothered Hubbard. All right. If you hold this heading, you're going to take us right to it, if you didn't know that already. Yeah, me too. Then we're really going to get competitive and fly around and look at stuff. All right, that's going to be Truman. It looks like San Fernando, but it's going to be Truman. And Hubbard is, we're going to have to start reading street signs. Actually, it's going to be out my door. Let me see what I can find. I'll just start reading streets. Just give me a second. They run right between there. Actually, there's an ambulance leaving. I have a feeling that's Hubbard. Nope, that's McClay. One up. One major, because it's going to be way major. Nah, it can't be. That's way up there. And like I said, of course, it's one way up there. There's the train. There's the fire trucks. And there's the sadness. All right, Simon Desk. Besides LA City Fire on scene of a train versus pedestrian, what do we know? Let's get around. Maybe we can read the actual stop. Yeah, I know. Let's see if we can get the name of the station. Is this LAPD or is this San Fernando? LAPD. Oh, there's no train station. I thought there'd be a train station name. Metrolink. Hubbard and Truman. Michelle, I would love, Miss Brewer, I would love a Starbucks right now. I don't know if that's David Lee, like my buddy David Lee. But you're right. Why can't they just drag it off the side of the road? No, it's not Amtrak. It's wait, somebody gave me the street name. Where is it? It's Silmar San Fernando Station. Thank you, Victor. We're probably in Silmar. '91 is LA City, right? Yeah, these are LA City guys. When I was a kid, there used to be a not so cool auto place. What's up? Huh? Yeah, it was just a really, like, bunch of junk cars in there, but they had this really, really sweet 68 Corvette in there that was just rotting. And I would always stop by and say, hey, man, sell me that thing. And they, you know what that is? I'm like, yeah, it's a Corvette that's rotting. They never did. Jerry, that's not very nice. Eventually. Maybe. What do we got for time left? If they're already into sports, they're probably not going to take us unless they try to squeeze us into the last, like the 27, 627. All right. Do you want to let the desk know, or I can call them? Hey, assignment desk. Turns out that the news is very heavy already. Copy all, back to Van Nuys. Oh no, not again. Oh, and Michelle even thinking about Brennan. Joyce, that sounds like an amazing car. I don't know which one it was, but that sounds amazing. No car chases right now, nothing. One of my best friends always gets like amazing seats for Coachella and backstage and all kinds of stuff, and always offers me to go, and I never go. I never do. I just can't. I can't take a week off and stay away from my family and stuff. Even though I'm sure that they'd be like, yes, go. Yeah. Jenny, we're going to a place called Van Nuys Airport, and then I have to make a phone call. So I'm wondering if I'm in trouble again. That clearing in the trees right there, that's going to be Van Nuys Airport. My old boss owned half of that company that you see right there. And I don't know if you can read the name of that sign. But one of my old pilots actually owns, well, he's not my pilot. I was blessed to be able to fly with him. That's the correct way of saying it. He owns that company right there. They're a production company now. They do production television stuff. They wouldn't hire a Yahoo like me to run their cameras, though. But I always think that's really cool. And a little bit farther up, that's where we hang out. That's the old Airwolf hangar, by the way. If you're like, you guys are going to Santini Air, yep, that's where we're going. There's our backup helicopter. If we're still, if you can still see us. Our shadow. There's my truck. Yes, I'm that boy. And Brennan's car next to it. Look at that. 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 That says it all right there. All right, guys and gals, we are almost back inches from the ground here at Van Nuys. There you go, Brennan. Smooth like silk. 9 Hotel 2 TOC. We are back on the ground at Van Nuys. May we knock it down. Thank you.